Now let's go to the merchandising business. So here are the classifications of the expenses of the merchandising. We have the first one, the cost of sales. So this is the amount paid or payable by the business entity to its suppliers for the merchandise sold to the business entity's customers. Ang cost of sales class ay yung expense ng business or gastos ng business na may kinalaman sa pagbili ng mga merchandise niya or ng mga inventory niya. When I say inventory, ito yung mga paninda niya, yung goods. And to get the cost of sales, we have this formula. Take note of this formula. Beginning inventory plus net purchases is equal to your total goods available for sale less ending inventory. Then you have your cost of sales. Beginning inventory is the stock of goods carried over from prior reporting period. This happened if the business is on its second year and so on. So sabihin natin na nag-start si business sa pag-operate 2018. So sa 2018, may matitirang inventory. So yung matitirang paninda or ending inventory of the year 2018 will be the beginning inventory of year 2019. So makikarry over yung ending inventory ng 2018 sa next year. Yung inventory amount noong January 1, 2019, that is the beginning inventory. Next to beginning inventory, we have net purchases. You add net purchases to beginning inventory to get the total goods available for sale. So ano naman yung net purchases? So this is the total amount paid or payable to suppliers for the period. Ito yung mga inventory, mga paninda na binili ni business during the current year. So let's go back to 2019, the current year. Yung mga pinamili niyang inventory or paninda noong 2019 is the net purchases. But to get the net purchases, we also have this formula. Gross purchases less purchase discounts plus purchase returns and allowances plus freight in is equal to your net purchases. Ano yung gross purchases? So ito yung general ledger balance of purchases account for the period. Yung gross amount niya. Ano yung gross amount? Yung nakalagay talaga sa price niya. Yan yung purchases. For purchase discounts, these are usually granted by suppliers to buyers to encourage prompt payment of latter's account. Purchase discounts, yan yung mga discount na ino-offer ng supplier ng business. So that yung business, ma-encourage siya magbayad kaagad kasi may discount eh. So, discount, i-deduct mo siya sa price ng purchases mo or the gross purchases. We also have purchase returns and allowances. I-deduct mo rin siya class sa purchases or gross purchases. Kasi pag sinabing purchase returns and allowances, ito yung mga produkto, ito yung mga inventories na na-receive ni business pero isinauli niya dun sa supplier niya kasi merong sira, defective, yan. So, isinauli niya, which granted by the suppliers. Siyempre, pumayag yung suppliers or inaccept niya yung isinauling produkto ng business. And to complete the net purchases, i-add nyo naman yung freight in. Ano yung freight in? So, these are necessary expenses incurred in the purchase of merchandise. These are incurred in order to transport the merchandise to the place of buyer. So, ito yung pamasahe yan. Transportation fee of the merchandise from the seller or from the supplier of the business to the business since siya yung buyer. You have to add it on the net purchases kasi nga, gastos yan ni business. Si business ang magbabayad ng pamasahing yan. And if you have freight in, you add it to the gross purchases, minus purchase discounts, minus purchase returns and allowances, then you have the net purchases, which siya yung i-add nyo sa beginning inventory to get the total goods available for sale. When I say total goods available for sale, this is the inventories na available na maibibenta sa current year. Yung current stock nila. That is total goods available for sale. Then, if you have total goods available for sale na, you deduct ending inventory to it. Ano naman yung ending inventory? So, this is the inventory available on the last day of the year. So, yung inventory sa December 31 or yung last day ng accounting period. So, that is your ending inventory. Then, if na-deduct nyo na, then that is your cost of sales na. Now, let's try preparing an SCI for a merchandising concern. So, we have case number 2 for best skirts. So, these are the accounts of best skirts or the trial balance of best skirts for December 31, 2019. So, we will be using this data, these accounts and amounts in the preparation of the SCI. So, take note of this data. And for the additional information, take note of this one also. So, lahat ng additional information na ibibigay sa inyo in your problem solving, yan, please read kasi importante yan. Kasama yan sa pag-solve nyo. So, if you miss this part, for sure mamamali yung answers nyo. But, there are some na confused, pero still read them. And now, this is the statement of comprehensive income for best skirts. And this one is using the multi-step approach. So, for multi-step approach, may gross profit. So, multi-step approach is being used by the merchandising business. Kanina sa single step, lahat ng expense pinagsama. But here, iniba si cost of sales. And it's because of the gross profit. Kailangan hanapin muna si gross profit. And for this statement of comprehensive income, again, start with the heading always. So, yung heading, start with the name of the company, then the financial statement, the title of the report, and lastly, the date. Starting with the phrase for the year ended. So, let's go to the sales. Bakit net sales? Dito nakalagay. So, this is the supporting schedule. For note 1, we have net sales. To get the net sales class, take note of this formula. We have sales or gross sales minus sales discounts minus sales returns and allowances. For sales, makukuha siya through price of the product or inventory times the number of inventories na na-sell ng business. That is how to get the sales. If you have the sales or the gross sales, you deduct the sales discounts. Sales discounts are the discounts given by the business to their customers. And also deduct sales returns and allowances. So, gagamitin yung account to recognize that returns, that product returns or inventory returns is called sales returns and allowances. So, you deduct these two to the gross sales to get the net sales. And for the net purchases, of course, this is the formula. Purchases plus freight in minus purchase discounts minus purchase returns and allowances. Then you have net purchases. Cost of sales, of course. Net purchases pa lang yun kanina. And net purchases is part of your cost of sales. And this net purchases, you have to add it to the beginning inventory. Saan galing yung beginning inventory? Balik tayo. Yan yung beginning inventory niya. But if ever hindi binigay yung beginning inventory, then go to the ending inventory of the last year. Kasi yan din yung magiging beginning inventory niya for the current year. Add net purchases to get the total goods available for sale. So, this 12,160,000, this is the amount of the goods available for sale in the current year. Last ending inventory. So, saan daw galing yung yung ending inventory. So, galing siya sa additional information. So, yan ang sinasabi ko na basahin nyo mabuti yung additional information. So, for this one, dito niya nilagay yung ending inventory. Yung amount ng ending inventory, which is 1,900,000. So, this is the amount of the inventory on December 31, 2019. Again, ending inventory is the amount of the inventory on the last day of the accounting year. Yung mga natirang inventory sa taong yan. Yan yung ending inventory. You less ending inventory to the total goods available for sale to get the cost of sales, which is 10,260,000. And now, we have cost of sales na. You deduct cost of sales to net sales to get gross profit. Take note of the formula of gross profit, ha? Gross profit is equals to net sales minus cost of sales. And if you have the gross profit, deduct nyo na yung selling expenses dito and administrative expenses. For selling expenses, these are incurred in accordance with the disposition of the merchandise to the customers. So ito yung ma-incur ng business sa pag-deliver ng product niya, ng merchandise niya, papunta dun sa customer. So examples of selling expenses are freight out. So we have two types of freight. Yung freight in is kasama siya sa cost of sales kasi na-incur siya sa pagbili ng inventory ni business sa supplier niya. But for freight out, sa selling expense siya kasi ito yung babayaran ng business sa pag-deliver ng product papunta sa customer niya. And we also have commission paid to salesmen. Yung mga salesmen, sila yung nagbebenta ng products. Nagbabahay-bahay sa pagbebenta ng products. So yung commission nila, kasama siya sa selling expenses. Salaries of sales staff. So, kasama rin siya sa selling expense because sila din yung nagbebenta dun sa mga customers. Even nasa sila, nasa building, nasa store. Sila pa rin yung in charge in the disposition of the merchandise or ng inventory to the customers. And we have depreciation expense. But take note, pertains to the sales office, yung building, yung store, kung saan nilalagay yung mga products or yung mga inventories ng business. Yung depreciation niya kasama sa selling expenses. And lastly, we have the administrative expenses or also called general and administrative expenses. So examples of administrative expenses are the general depreciation expenses, the general rent expenses, the office employees' salaries, the permits and licenses. So for general and administrative expenses, ito yung mga nai-incur na expenses ni business na walang kinalaman sa pag-create or walang kinalaman sa pag-deliver ng product sa customer. So para nakuha tong mga amounts na to, 1,693,000, 2,487,000. Saan daw? Let's go to note 4 and 5. Okay, but before we go to note 4 and 5, ito muna yung ginawa ng bookkeeper. So, inallocate niya muna. Bakit? Kasi doon sa trial balance, hindi doon nakastate kung magkano talaga yung selling and administrative expense, yung specific amount for this selling and administrative expense. Sige, let's go back to the trial balance. Di ba wala? Yung nakalagay yung total, salaries, rent, utilities, permit and licenses, repairs, and depreciation. Pero hindi naka-indicate kung ilan ba yung para sa selling and ilan yung para sa general and administrative expense. So, saan naka-indicate? Again, sa additional information. So, ito yung naging basis sa allocation na ginawa. So, we have this one, 30% for selling and the rest to administrative, which is 70%. For example, salaries expense na 2 million total. Yung selling niya is 600,000, which is 30% ng 2 million. Then the rest, yung matitira sa 2 million, which is 70%, is for administrative, which is 1,400,000. So, ganyan din yung ginawa niya for the other expenses or operating expenses. And this is note 4 for selling expenses. So, yan, yung nasa allocation. But for freight out, wala siya sa allocation. Kasi yung freight out, for selling lang talaga siya. Selling expense lang talaga siya. So, don't forget to include freight out, ha? Baka yung ilagay nyo lang is yung nasa allocation na miss nyo yung freight out. Of course, mali pa rin yung selling expense nyo. And for note 5, we have administrative expense. Yan. And wala din doon yung permits and licenses sa allocation kasi yung permits and licenses is for administrative expense siya. Also the repairs and maintenance. So, hindi siya kasama doon sa allocation but kasama siya sa general and administrative expense. Alam niyo na kung saan galing ang selling and administrative expense. Deduct them to gross profit to get the net income or total comprehensive income. Kasi dito, wala namang other comprehensive income na given. So, like I said, your total comprehensive income is equal to your net income. And this is the statement of comprehensive income using multi-step approach. Again, yung pinagkaiba ng dalawang approach is because of gross profit. Si gross profit, wala sa single step. And multi-step approach usually is being used by the merchandising business.